Good morning, everybody. For today's news, it is going to be about the U.S. job growth sluggish as virus hampers recovery. And I'm getting the news from BBC UK. So, as everybody knows that the pandemic, the COVID-19, hit badly all over the world, and here's some effects on U.S. Job growth. So the U.S. economy added just 49,000 jobs in January as the coronavirus pandemic continued to hamper recovery. So for the 49,000 jobs mean they just have more employment 49,000 for 49,000 people in January. And the losses hit workers at the retail stores, restaurants, casino, and hotels. So these four sectors of jobs underscored the need for the further economic relief, as said by the analyst. The Labor Department said the unemployment rate fell down to 6.3%, so down 0.4 percentage points from December, so from last month. However, the US still remains about 10 million job short of where it stood in February 2020 before the pandemic hit. So a long way to go. And US President Joe Biden was trying to, solve the problem by, praising the for approval of a 1.9 trillion US dollars here spending package for their, the job sector. So he said that it's very clear that our economy is still in trouble, and I see enormous pain in this country, and I'm going to act fast. However, the weak hiring in January followed job losses in December, which put an end to a straight job gains that started in May. So in May, there will be a graph below that which shown that there were an increasing rate of employment in the U.S. starting in May. However, it stopped in December. No, it stopped in January because of the weak hiring. And the part is the Labor Department said that those falls, those falls in the unemployment rate fell to 6.3%. Those falls were deeper than originally estimated, with 227,000 jobs cut instead of 140,000 as previously reported. So it is better than they expected. However, the analysts attributed the fall in the jobless rate to more people giving up on looking work. So the deeper fall that they were expected, that they weren't expected actually, it actually from, people giving up from withdrawing from the labor force, as roughly 400,000 more people withdrew from this labor force. The hardest hit, this is significantly softer report than expected, so better than they expected, at least in terms of payrolls, said Ian Jefferson of Pantheon Macroeconomics. The bottom line here is that the labor market was frozen at the start of the year and is completely dependent on the pace of reopening, which in turn is contingent on the speed and sustainability of the fall in hospitalizations. Temporary hires accounted for most of January job gains, which is not good because it's temporary. And while most other industries shed positions, the losses have hit low-income, minority, and female worker hardest. A trend continued in January. Nearly 40% of the unemployed have been without work for more than 6 months. And here's the graph of the all employees that are employed, um, excluding the farmers and some sectors like I don't really remember, but yeah, like a few sectors. But mostly that the sectors that are included in here are mostly contributed to the like up to 80% of the US GDP. So like mostly all of them. And here's the amount of people. Zero is normal rate of employment. And you can see in April 2020 when the pandemic actually hit hard, the amount of people who are employed fall down by 20 million people in the US. And it got a lot better in June. Then it started to go down again. And it up by 49,000 jobs in January, which was reported earlier. And Mr. Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus package will send checks worth $1,400 dollars to most families, expanded jobless aid, and provide new money for struggling businesses, as well as devote millions to testing and vaccination efforts. So $1,400, that is about 30 no 40,000 baht. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Senate Democrats, I will skip the particular part because I don't really understand what they're talking about. However, the soft January U.S. employment report strongly implies that the next round of fiscal aid and stimulus needs to be err on the side of caution and go big, said economist Joseph Brusolas of the RSM accounting and consultancy firm, wrote on Twitter. The job crisis isn't over. Since the pandemic hit, workers at restaurants, hotels, and other businesses badly affected by shutdowns have struggled, but the rest of the economy has shown signs of adapting. Some companies even thrived. The employment report for January, however, undermines that theory. So this theory is not actually, undermines. What does undermines actually means? Undermine, undermines mean, not really, not really true. So the employment report for January, however, undermines that theory. So this theory is not really true. And why? Because the segments of the economy not directly affected by the pandemic aren't doing well. Hiring in industries like transportation, warehousing fell last month. There were also declines in healthcare. So yeah, the rest of the economy has shown signs of adapting. Not really, I'll say. So at January's, and this is an important sentence, at January's pace of 49,000 jobs per month, it would take roughly 14 years for the US jobs market to get back to where it was a year ago. So it would take them 14 years for the 49,000 jobs per month to get back to February 2020. So remember what I said in the third part, the first part, that 10 million job shot in, yeah. It's a reminder for those shaping US economy policy that America's jobs crisis is far from over. So people thought that the US wasn't really, affected that much because they're rich or something, but in fact they're heavily affected just as every country is, in the world right now by the pandemic. And that is further news for today. Thank you.